Good morning and happy Monday. I just recorded this episode and it didn't record. So we're going to try for the second time. My name's Alyssa. Welcome back to Room for Sunshine. When those things happen, there's always two choices. It's like you can just be frustrated and angry and go, that was the best episode. And it really was. I will say it was one of the best episodes I've probably ever recorded. And then you can only really go, well, it wasn't meant to happen. And so here we are for round two. The good news is I've already kind of filtered through my nonsense of what I want to talk about today, which means it might be a better episode for you after all. So there's always a bright side. Welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, a quick update of why we're here and what I'm doing here and who I am. My name's Alyssa. I'm going to bring in my story in actually a future episode, a little bit more in depth. But long story short is I am somebody who is balancing the two worlds, the spiritual world, the modern, more material world. I'm somebody who loves yoga and meditation and is really determined and devoted to living a mindful life. And simultaneously, I'm also the person who wants to go out with friends to a bar and hang out and social. And I thought it was going to be the better episode. And socialize. And I've found that there's not enough people talking about how to do both in the world in a meaningful way, not just in a way that we can show off to somebody on social media. Hey, look, I meditated, or I tried breath work, or hey, look at me. I can be spiritual and live in New York City. I want you to be able to do it for you. I want you to be able to wake up in the morning and look at yourself and go, am I happy? Am I balanced? Am I making decisions that honor myself and my needs? Because use whatever words you want to use, spiritual or not, mindful or not. The thing that matters to me is, what are you living for? What are the decisions you're making working towards? Is there a purpose? Is there a goal? And rather than those goals always being related to success and career and money, which is more of how I would say a lot of the Western mind grew up thinking, can we also balance those goals with goals for personal growth? And this weekend, for example, I have a pretty outward facing life normally. I spent the whole weekend in, like when I wasn't teaching yoga and a few other commitments that I had, I was home. I was sleeping, journaling, meditating, brainstorming things that I wanted to do, writing, really like in this creative, introspective zone. And I had this moment last night where I was like, wow, I don't know if I ever would have done this before. Taken 3 days in a row to not socialize, to not go have dinners with friends, to actually say no to things, because I just knew deep down that what I really needed was to be intimately alone in a way that is with the mind, giving the mind space to really clear and show me the thoughts that I've been pushing away. Naturally, that's what happens. We're in our lives, we're in kind of protection, go, go, go mode, and things are just getting pushed down, not in a bad way, but in a way that's like, I'm going to save that for later because I don't have the energy to deal with it right now. So that's why I'm really energized this morning, is I've had nothing but rest and me time. And so this Monday, what I want to bring into the space as we kind of take another topic and go, how do we integrate it? Because integration, I think, is the word that's most important to me for what this podcast is trying to do. And what I hope for all of us here is it's another tool to be able to integrate the work of self work into the world of others. And so these are just tools so that when you wake up in the morning and a challenge comes your way, it's raining here in Bali today, you look out and you go, how am I going to respond to that? You know, you get to the office and someone makes a weird side comment to you that automatically puts you in a place of like, ugh, how do you respond to that? And it doesn't mean we're going to do this in like a perfect way every time, but the more balanced, the more centered that we become, the more equipped we are to handle those situations. And these just aren't skills that were ever really taught to me, at least, not in school, not really at home, they're just not talked about. And so this podcast is my way of saying, let's support one another so that we don't have to integrate alone. That's my rant. Okay. And so today, moving into what are we talking about this Monday? What are we talking about this week? I want to bring in the theme of faking happiness. Now, I don't mean toxic positivity. I guess that there is probably a little overlap there. But to me, toxic positivity is when you're just the person who's always happy-go-lucky. And I say that with my own lived experience because there was a point in my life where I was that friend. I was the friend who like was always saying, okay, it's going to be great. It's going to get better. Oh, let's dance. Let's sing. Let's skip. Let's hop. And part of that was because genuinely I am somebody who wakes up and feels I lean happy. I just do. I have days that are really sad. And I would say for me, because I lean happy, my dark is a lot darker and heavier. But naturally, I see the good in people. I see the bright side of the situation. Toxic positivity was what happened when I claimed that as my identity. It was when I took just the fact that I wake up excited that it's raining because it's a chance to dance in the rain and made it who I was, not only because it was who I wanted to be, but it was because other people were telling me, that's you. You're the sunshine happiness girl. Okay. And I was just thinking, you don't know me. You don't know what happens 5 minutes from now or what happened 5 minutes ago. You're just seeing one part of me. And what I realized was I wasn't showing visibly enough of the other parts to people, so they stopped believing that I was a real human. And then I started to feel shame for being a real human who had all of these other emotions. And so all of this being said, toxic positivity, whatever that means to you in your head, is a little different potentially than what I'm going to talk about, which is faking happiness. And I'm bringing this up today because my Instagram feed is just filled with engagements and weddings and all of these big, beautiful milestones in life. So I know that a lot of my community back home is experiencing this right now. And for you, I'm sure there's some pattern or theme that is coming up in your world. And all you see and hear about is people going, I am so happy for you. I'm so happy. You know, you hear that your best friend got engaged and you're like, I am so happy for you. That's amazing. You guys are going to have the best life ahead. I can't wait. I'm here for all of it, whatever you need. I don't believe that every single time that happens, that's the honest reaction. And that's okay. The honest reaction is not always the one we can share. However, what I'm going to challenge us to start thinking about is, can I share a part of the truth? A part of the honesty? And the example that comes to mind right away for me is a few years ago, two of my best friends started dating. And I was so happy for them. I genuinely, I knew that they were a perfect match. I kind of helped set it up. I was so excited. And part of me was also really sad. I'm so scared because I was just thinking, what happens if I lose them both? They love each other so much that they forget about me. And then who do I have? And, you know, it's my guy and my girl, and I need them. I love them. And I expressed that to them. You know, I said, hey, I'm so happy for you. And also, this is hard for me. And then what ended up happening was it became kind of a traumatizing situation for me because I did, for a period of time, lose them. And being honest in that situation actually hurt me more than it helped me because they didn't get it. They just wanted me to be completely happy. And I want to bring this up because what happens when we experience something that doesn't go the way we hoped it would, when we're honest and it fails us, is our brain starts to lock that in as what's always going to happen time and time again. So then what started to happen was, for a period of time, I'd get really scared, to be honest, about how I was feeling with somebody, because I was thinking, if I tell him, that I'm not sure if I want to start something, or if I tell her that I'm upset by that time that she said this thing in front of somebody else, it wasn't funny to me, it was hurtful, am I just going to start losing everybody? Is anyone going to be able to handle my truth and my heart and where I'm at? And most of us probably have hundreds of these examples in our lives. That was just one that came to me talking about weddings. But it's hard to overcome this. And that's why this week, what I want to bring awareness to is not being Mr. or Mrs. Truth power monster who goes around saying everything they feel all the time. But it's to start recognize when we're faking happiness and not acknowledging the other emotions that are present. And then finding small and simple ways to start expressing the true emotions. Even if you walk into the office and somebody says something that pisses you off, you can just push it down and go, I'm just not going to deal with that. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. But by not having the time and the energy, you're just creating a bigger pile of negative energy that you're storing up with you. So why don't we lighten that load a little bit and just, if you can, turn to the person who said the thing, go, hey, I would really appreciate it if you don't throw these things on me at 7 a.m, because it's a lot for me to take. I hear you. I'll get back to you on that. Or if a friend pushes your button and says something that, really frustrates you, saying, hey, that really upset me. And it upsets me when you do this in front of this group of people for X, Y, and Z. I know you didn't mean anything bad by it, but I just wanted to share that with you. Open communication. It's so hard. This is really hard. It's a hard thing to do. And you are speaking to the queen of somebody who wants to make other people happy. But I have learned through my own lived experience that wanting to make yourself happy or feel good or whatever emotion you want to call that is going to serve you and your relationships 1,000 times more than trying to protect everybody else all the time by faking happiness. So this week and moving forward, we're going to do our best to acknowledge all the emotions. And even if you can just speak to things as they happen in the slightest bit, opening up the dialogue to show yourself and other people your truth is so empowering. And the reality is you might lose some people along the way. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to fake the happiness and say everyone's going to accept this. But at least from my own experience, my relationships have gotten so much stronger. My relationship to what is my truth is so much clearer. And because of it, the happiness actually feels a lot purer. And the ability to fake happiness feels so much lesser because it feels like a waste. It feels like a lie. And I don't know about you, but I am over the lies. I'm here for the truth. And I'm here to do it together. So that's our Monday episode on Room for Sunshine. Thank you as always for tuning in. Feel free to message me if you ever need support with something you're going through on Instagram, Twitter, email at Room for Sunshine. If you like the episode, please share it with a friend. Like it, rate it, and we will see you Thursday for our sunset chat. Have an amazing day.